So I was trying to figure out what kind of video I wanted to do this week, what kind of books I wanted to read, and I couldn't decide between reading horror for a week, reading romance for a week, reading fantasy for a week, which are all videos I want to do and will be doing. However, I kind of want to wait until I'm really in the mood for one of those. Like, I want to be really in the mood for horror or really in the mood for romance, just so that I know I'm like giving all those books a fair chance and I'm not forcing myself to finish by the end of the week. Right now, I just have a couple different kinds of books that I want to read, so I figured, why not just do a good plain old read with me for a week? No theme, no goals, just vibes. I'm not trying to read a certain amount. I'm not reading for a specific purpose. I'm reading just to read. So I'll show you what I read each day, or what I don't read, because that also happens, and we're just gonna go with the flow. So today's Monday. For the past couple of days, I've been trying to read American Psycho, and it is just not happening for me right now. I'm just not feeling it at this moment in time. I have only read about 40 pages, so I'm really not far into the book at all. Like, he hasn't even killed anyone yet, so I think I'm gonna set this aside for now. I'm not DNFing it because I do want to read it and then I want to watch the movie, but I did also just get 2 new books that I would much rather read instead. So I just got Seed by Ania Ahlborn and Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. And I know we have two very different vibes going on. But I think I'm going to start Seed first and then go into Once Upon a Broken Heart, because if I really like that, which I think I will, I'm going to want to go straight into the next one. So I'll be able to do that. So Seed, this is by Ania Ahlborn. I think it's Ania. It's either Ania or Ania. I'll have to look that up. She also wrote Brother, which is one of my favorite horror books. So I'm really excited to read another book by her. On the back, it says, with nothing but the clothes on his back and something horrific snapping at his heels, Jack Winter fled his rural Georgia home when he was just a boy. Watching the world he knew vanish in a trucker's rear view mirror, he thought he was leaving an unspeakable nightmare behind forever. Now, years later, the bright new future he's built suddenly turns pitch black as something fiendishly familiar looms dead ahead. Surviving a violent car crash seems like a miracle for Jack's family, but Jack knows there's nothing divine about it. The profound evil he uncovered as a boy has finally found him again. The thing that crouched at his bedside with soulless eyes and grinning razor-sharp teeth is back with plans for Jack and his angelic youngest daughter with a chilling promise. I've always been here and I'll never leave. That sounds spooky. It's giving paranormal vibes. I have not read a paranormal horror book in such a long time. You know, I've been mostly reading human being horror, but I used to love paranormal horror when I was younger, so I'm excited. Now I'm gonna stop talking and start reading. I read about 60 pages so far. I sat and read while I ate my breakfast. I've been eating those protein pancakes almost every single day for months now. Like, I will go through these hyperfixations with food, but literally just breakfast. Like, I've had multiple oatmeal phases, cereal phase, multiple pancake phases, no breakfast at all phase. But we've been in this chocolate chip protein pancake phase for a minute now. Literally nobody asked. I don't know why. So far, I'm only 60 pages in. I was right. This is a very paranormal-esque horror story, which is scaring me a little bit. When I read those like human being based horror stories, like, I don't read them because they scare me. I read them because, I don't know, they're more shocking than anything. So this one scared me a little bit, I have to admit. It immediately starts out with the accident, and the dad like sees a pair of eyes in the middle of the road. So he swerves, wrecks the car. And ever since the accident, the youngest daughter, Charlotte, has been acting up. Like, she told her dad, like, I saw the eyes too, even though the mom and the other daughter, like, they didn't see the eyes. She, like, gets sick the next day, doesn't want to go to school, but then comes home and, like, throws up everywhere, like Exorcist throws up everywhere. She starts telling her parents that there's something in the closet. And let me tell you, if my future children ever come to me and they say, there's something in the closet, there's a man standing in the corner, I'm seeing ghosts, I'm gonna look right at them and say, go talk to your father, please. Nope, not for me. And then they also start hearing like scratching noises in the walls. It's also set in Louisiana, which I love. I said in my last video, I love a good Southern themed horror. Like, that subgenre if you will, just gives me such summer vibes. So we're in Louisiana. The dad also like plays in a band and he has to go to New Orleans, Bourbon Street. He talks about voodoo, so that's cool. But while all of this is going on in the present and everything's going on with the daughter, we've got little snippets and pieces of backstory from the dad as a child who grew up seeing this thing, seeing these eyes. He started like kind of doing weird things as a kid, same things along the lines of the daughter. So now in his head, he knows, okay, this thing is back and it's here for my daughter. Right now, the mom was home alone and the table ends up getting flipped over and she's hearing more scratching. So very creepy vibes so far, and I'm into it. So I simply did not read at all for the rest of the day yesterday. The last time I talked to you was also the last time that I read. I don't know, I was just not in the mood to be reading yesterday. I will usually read almost every single night before bed, but I did not. So in total, I read about 80 pages yesterday. I think this book is only like 240-ish pages altogether. So if I did like sit down and really read this, I could probably finish it today. But like I said, we're not reading for any specific reason. There's no reason why I need to sit and finish this all today. If I want to, I will. But if I don't, then I won't. But for right now, I'm gonna sit here, gonna drink my coffee, and we're gonna read. So I read to page like 140 earlier and then took a break, got some things done, but I think I'm gonna go sit outside and read because it's really nice outside and I need some sun badly. So I'm gonna go outside and sit and read until it's time to go to the gym. I don't have any new thoughts about the book really. I mean, we're still in that build-up phase where creepy, scary, unexplainable things keep happening. The child is acting weirder and weirder. I'm not bored. I wouldn't say I'm bored, but I feel like I'm just waiting for something new to happen, to get deeper into the story rather than just the build-up. I'm not disliking it by any means, but if it stays kind of like this one note for the rest of the book, then I'm gonna be a little bit underwhelmed, but we'll see. Okay, so I kind of lied. I really only sat outside for like a couple of minutes, but I think now I'm gonna get ready and go to the gym, and I'm gonna take my book because I like to read while I'm warming up on the treadmill, so I'll be able to read at the gym. Also, I'm drinking one of these little Alani Nu thingies. I really don't drink these very often because realistically, I don't think they actually do anything. I just spilled red on my carpet. I don't think that tastes very good. Oh, it's not bad. Every once in a while, I just need a little treat to get me to the gym. Except this one doesn't taste that good. So I'm gonna get ready and then I'll probably talk to you before I go in there. Okay, so I just got to the gym. I'm in the parking lot. I've never filmed in my car before. New location. You're on my steering wheel right now. So I think I'm gonna try and read a little bit. I think I'm gonna read for a couple minutes before I go in. I'm gonna try and drink more of this. It's the Hawaiian shaved ice flavor. 2 stars. It doesn't taste good. Also, one more thing before I go. The family in here, they have a dog. And if you watch enough horror movies, you know what happens to the dog. It never ends well for the dog. They're always the first one to sense that something is wrong, and they're always the first one to die. And that is my least favorite part of horror movies. Every single time. Like, I will watch the human beings get and be fine. When it happens to the dog, it is so upsetting. Yeah, right now they're like playing with the dog, and I have a feeling something really bad is about to happen. Alright, I'm back from the gym. I actually read quite a bit while I was there. I am now on page 208, 30 pages left, so I think I'm just gonna sit here and finish it. No, I haven't showered. No, I haven't changed out of my clothes, but I want to finish this book. started popping off when I was at the gym, so. Hello, friends and family. So yesterday I finished Seed, and I have very neutral feelings towards it. First of all, I kept saying this was like 240 pages. It's not. It was 220. So yesterday I read from page 80 to 220, which would be 140 pages. This just like did not do a whole bunch for me. It wasn't bad at all. Like, I did not dislike it, but my life has not been affected whatsoever from reading this. Like, it just feels like a story that I experienced and now I'm gonna move on with my life. It is a very easy read. I feel like all of Ania Ahlborn's books, I say all of them, and I've read 2, this one and Brother, but of the 2 that I've read, they read very much like horror movies. Like, I could very much have pictured this on like a TV screen as a movie. But this just felt like your average possession story. Like, it was nothing monumental. You have your family, there's a little girl, you know, she starts acting out, she starts getting in trouble, she starts getting like really mean, creepy, unexplainable things are happening around the house, like they're hearing scratching, a table gets flipped over. But there is an added element of the dad experiencing the same type of thing as a child, and so we get him kind of like exploring that within himself and exploring his own history, because like kind of remembers what happened but also kind of doesn't, and there are like a lot of unexplained things in his past, and the end literally comes full circle. Like, the definition of full circle. Also, potential spoiler, even though I don't really think it is, these books don't have happy endings. Like this one and Brother, which I would say I liked Brother a lot more than this one, they have very like disastrous endings. Like, no good ending. Nothing good happens at all. But overall, I'd probably give this a 3.5 because I didn't dislike it. I had a fine time reading it, but like once I put this back on the shelf, I'm not going to think about it again. And then last night before I went to bed, I started Once Upon a Broken Heart. I read, I think, about 30 pages, but I was half asleep while I was reading, so I very much need to just restart and reread those 30 pages. So we're not going to count that last night. But I do believe I was enjoying what I read last night. I am very excited to read this. I've seen so many people talking about this. Everybody loves it. They're saying it's very magical, very fairy tale vibes, very Alice in Wonderland, which I love that. I love Alice in Wonderland, so I'm excited. The last fantasy series I read was Serpent in the Wings of Night, which is not fairy tale, not necessarily super magical, so I'm very excited to get that in this. Don't know a ton of what this is about. All I've seen is people say this girl, Evangeline, her mans is getting married to someone else. So she makes a deal with the Prince of Hearts to stop the wedding, and they get into like a thing. I don't really know. One thing I think I do remember is that the male main character, who is the Prince of Hearts, Jax, I think he's blonde. Not into that. I don't care how many morally gray, dark-haired male main characters there are in this world. I will always want more. Not into the blondes. So I'm gonna restart this from the beginning. I would like to do some reading today. I also might rearrange my room. I don't know. We'll see. So I've been quite busy reading. No, but I have been rearranging. Let me show you. So I completely moved my bed to the corner. But what I'm most excited about is this corner. You might be wondering, Allie, where did you get this shelf? I stole it from my sister's room. Will it stay there? Hopefully. She might demand it back. But I can make this a little reading space. I just need a little chair right there. It'll be so cute. Now I'm gonna finish. Y'all, I love me a good one piece, a good bodysuit, a good one and done. Throw one piece of clothing on and you're out the door. But this bodysuit from Aritzia quite literally makes me feel like I'm about to go wrestle someone. Like, I feel and look like I'm about to go hit the mat, wrestling, singlet, is that what they're called? Vibes. You would understand more if you saw the bottom half of what I'm wearing, but that's another issue I have with this bodysuit. We need to abolish the front seam. Why are we still making, in this year of 2023, why are we still making leggings, workout clothes, tight clothes like this with a front seam. Who is it for? We don't want it. We don't need it. We is me. If you are a front seam apologist, please let me know why. Anyways, last night I read about 75 pages. I did go back and read the first 30 pages of the book that I did not comprehend from the night before because I was in fact falling asleep. So I ended up reading 75 pages in total, and then this morning I sat outside and read for a little bit, and then this morning I sat and let me try that one more time. And then this morning I sat outside and read for a little bit. And I am now up to page 108, and I'm having a grand old time with this book. I am thoroughly enjoying the vibes created by this experience. I just left off on the part where Jax has called in his first kiss because that was the debt that Evangeline promised him in order for him to stop the wedding. He said, okay, sis, I'll stop this wedding for you, but you're gonna have to kiss 3 random people for me at any point in time of my choosing. And let me tell you, I do not know how Evangeline is not already in love with Jax. Because I am. It might also be the fact that he's no longer blonde, but if I were Evangeline, I would have folded so fast for him. Like, literally, who is Luke? Girl, he wants to marry your stepsister. Also, I'm suspicious of Marisol. I know that Evangeline is like, oh, she would never hurt. I got my eye on Marisol because she is suspicious to me. But yeah, I'm just loving the feeling of this book. I love the vibes. It's cozy, it's magical, it's whimsical. Like, I want to go here. For the book tag video, that question, what book would you want to live in? This is not my answer. I want to live here. I want to live in the magical north. What is it called? The Magnificent North. Also, I have not read Caraval. I've tried a couple of times, but I have read enough of it to recognize the 2 sisters from this book. They're also in this one because they do take place in the same universe. And now the sisters are like prominent characters in this book. But I'm going to keep reading this and then I'll be back with more thoughts. So it's been a minute. I think the last thing I filmed was this morning. I was drinking my coffee. I ended up only reading a couple of pages. It was nothing substantial enough, and then I simply have not read since then. But now I'm in my bed. Now I'm cozy, and literally all I'm gonna do is read. And I'm so excited because my opinion has not changed. My opinion has not changed since the last time I updated. I'm having the time of my life reading this. And I see that people are saying the second one is literally even better, so that is so exciting. But I have not been bored for 1 second. It's very fast paced. Things are happening. I have so many questions. There's so much going on that you're like, why is this happening? What is Jax's deal? Why does he want these things? And all I want to do is find out. So I'm hopefully going to read quite a bit right now because that's what I'm in the mood to do. I literally read so much of this last night. I almost finished it. I'm on page 386 out of like 400. And to be completely honest, I don't want to finish this book because I don't want it to be over because I'm having such a great time. But I think I'm just gonna sit here and finish out the last couple pages. Literally so much is going on. So I'm gonna finish this really fast and then I'll be right back. Right off the bat, she's getting a 4.5. 4.5 stars. I'm so upset that I don't have the second one in my possession already because I would be starting it immediately. Like, I've already ordered it from Amazon, but it's not here yet, and I'm so tempted to just go to the store and get it right now, but I'm not gonna do that. Oh my god, I didn't know there was a preview in the end. Should I read it real quick? What the heck? Oh my gosh, hold on. Well, that did not help with my urge to immediately go and get the second book. Like, I really think YA fantasy just does it way more for me than adult fantasy does. I don't care what Jax does. I love him. And I want to be Little Fox. Like, Evangeline, if you don't want to take the title, I will step in. I will step in as Little Fox. This was so fast-paced. There were so many things happening at every single point in the story. There were so many, like, twists and, like, revelations going on that, like, I was literally never bored reading this. I was never feeling like, oh, I need something else to happen, or it's repetitive, or anything like that. There was always something new happening, and I just love the magic in this book. I love the world building in this book. For me, that is like easily my favorite thing about fantasy. I know that a lot of people don't like that, but I personally love when fantasy books are like over the top descriptive. Like, tell me what things smell like, tell me about the food, Tell me what everything looks like. I want to imagine the world in my head. And like the world building in this was just so fun. I was so into it. Honestly, it reminded me a little bit of Harry Potter in a way. The stories are not the same whatsoever, but just the way that she wrote the world building and the descriptions, like all of the little shops and the way the buildings looked and like the magical food and everything, like it just reminded me of Harry Potter. It reminded me of Hogsmeade or Diagon Alley. Like, I don't know. I just loved it. I just ate it up. Like the dragon roasted apples, I'm upset that I will never taste a dragon roasted apple. And I just loved Evangeline and Jax. Like the romance is technically not between them, but it's easy to tell that like it's gonna end up being between the two of them. So I'm really excited that we still like have their whole relationship to experience, because this one was just a lot of tension, which I love that. I'm so glad for that. Tension, but we still have like their whole relationship to come and more to explore about him, because we barely know anything about him. So yeah, easily a 4.5. You read for escapism, if you read for magic, if you read because you want to literally escape everyday life, I recommend. Now I don't know what to do because I don't have the next one to read. Oh, I know what I could read. So the other day I was in Walmart. Walmart's book section, don't sleep on it. Do not sleep on Walmart's book section. They surprisingly have a good selection of books. Of course, the other day I was at Walmart just browsing the book section, and I see this book. I'd never seen this book before. I've never seen this talked about on TikTok. Not to say that no one has talked about it, because I'm sure someone has somewhere, but I personally have not seen this anywhere. So this is called This Delicious Death by Kayla Cottingham, and I saw the cover and I was like, oh, that's cute. And then I read the back. 2 years ago, a small percentage of the population underwent a transformation known as the hollowing. Those affected were only able to survive by consuming human flesh. The people who went without quickly became feral, turning on their friends and family. Luckily, scientists were able to create a synthetic version of human meat that would satisfy their hunger. As a result, humanity slowly began to return to normal. Cut to Zoe, Celeste, Valeria, and Jasmine, 4 hollow girls living in Southern California. As a last hurrah before graduation, they attend a musical festival in the heart of the desert. They have a cooler filled with seltzer, vodka, and sin flesh. But on the first night of the festival, Val goes feral and ends up killing and eating a boy in one of the bands. As other festival guests start disappearing around them, the girls soon discover someone is targeting people like them. What a fun concept. Tender is the flesh mixed with teenage girls and Coachella. Sounds great. And then I also read the first line of the book while I was in Walmart. When my parents asked if I wanted a Mini Cooper for graduation, I didn't think ahead to whether or not it would have enough trunk space to accommodate my cooler full of organs. What a first line. So I think I'm going to start reading this, at least until Ballad of Never After comes in. But I also think I'm going to end this here just so I can get this going, get it up. That was a realistic week of reading for me. Just to recap, I also read Seed by Ania Ahlborn, ended up giving it 3.5. Wasn't my favorite book I've ever read, but it also was not bad whatsoever, and I definitely want to read more of her books, because I think that might have been one of her first books that she wrote. I also might totally be making that up, but I'm definitely going to be reading more of her books. And of course, you just saw me finish Once Upon a Broken Heart. I'll definitely finish this before the next coming Monday, so technically I will have read 3 books this week, but just for the sake of getting this video up this weekend, we're going to call it a week here. But I hope you enjoyed. I definitely want to do more videos like this where, you know, I'm just reading for a week, no goals, just vibes type of thing. So stick around for more of those, and I'll see you in the next one.